Hey guys, it's the Nerdy Movie Guy, and so today we're going to talk about Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. I recently had the chance to see it, and not only is that the film for today's review, this review is actually the 150th for the channel, so it's pretty exciting. Feels like not too long ago I made the 100th video for this channel, so things are picking up pretty quick. There's just plenty of watching, there's plenty I'm wanting to review, plenty of ideas of something different for the channel, not just a review for every single video. I have collection updates. I'm thinking maybe eventually I want to sort of go through my categories. Maybe I'll do a video for steelbooks, maybe for horror movies. Irregardless, Furiosa is the one I watched recently and I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, somehow this movie is just underperforming at the box office. It's not doing the best, but the thing is, the people that I've heard from who have watched this movie really enjoy it. So it's just kind of a shame to see it kind of go under the radar just a little bit. However, for Mad Max fans, most Mad Max fans are checking this one out, I would assume, or at least from what I've heard. And it's just a great entry to the franchise. It isn't in my opinion, the greatest in the franchise. However, it is a very solid addition. So obviously, I personally have not seen the first three Mad Max movies, so I can't compare Furiosa to those three. However, Furiosa, being a character from Mad Max Fury Road, I'm going to compare those two for the video. Fury Road, I think, ultimately ended up having more in total action sequences than in this movie. However, I think this movie maybe had potentially a stronger main plot point. It is very much revenge driven, and like any good action revenge movie, you want to have a good balance of both, of story and action, and this movie I think plays that perfectly well. Its only downside, I think, is when the movie opens, it almost seems like the first 30 to 40 minutes you expected it to wrap up much more quickly than it did. So I don't think what we got in the first 30 to 40 minutes was bad content at all. I think because it wasn't what people were expecting, it wasn't ultimately boring. It was ultimately, I think fans were thinking, when is the next part coming up? The thing is, for all of their marketing, Chris Hemsworth is in this movie. And Anya Taylor-Joy is part of the marketing as well. However, it feels like didn't show up till halfway through the movie. So when the first half, when Furiosa is younger, there's another actress obviously playing the younger version of Furiosa, and for her character to have so much screen time was interesting. I think the fact that it took so long for the character to grow up, I think is why as fans we were expecting the time jump for the first 30 to 45 minutes, just sort of waiting for it. So then we became, I think, anticipating just the next thing. Whenever the next scene happened, we were already anticipating the next scene, which I feel unfortunately dragged us in that opening bit for a little bit. Looking back, they were great scenes. It was a great story builder. The plot was laid out very nicely. I just think that fact kind of made people kind of in their minds wanting to rush through that part. So irregardless, it sets up the story very well for why Furiosa wants revenge. Her mother was murdered by Chris Hemsworth's Dementus, and he plays a phenomenal villain. I haven't seen him in too many roles outside of the Marvel franchise. However, what I have seen him in, he does really well. So I hear there's several movies where when he plays a villain, he does it really well. And Extraction, he's not the villain, but it's a more harder take, more of a gritty take on an action movie than the Thor or Avengers movies were. So I think he very much has a future playing villains and or a more gritty action star versus the generic comic superhero role that he's been given in the past few years. His role in some of those Marvel movies were really great. It's just the recent ones, it just wasn't, it didn't meet expectations. We'll leave it at that. So going back to Furiosa, he is able to just become this, as Dementus is, this demented, psychotic interesting, captivating villain. He has parts of his story where you almost feel like you're supposed to want to root for him, but then there are most of the other times where you just can't. You just don't. And so it was very interesting, sort of giving two different sides to basically two focal characters for this movie. And just the way it connects to Fury Road with the locations and the characters, I think it was done seamlessly. I think it was a beautiful transition into those locations and characters. And I don't know if it's so much of a cameo, but those characters that did show up from Fury Road, it was very cool to see. They're given minimal yet impactful role for this movie, as it does focus on Furiosa versus Dementis as its focal plotline. So overall, for a revenge story, I think it was well done. The action was fun. Maybe it was a little bit more noticeable CGI than probably Fury Road, I would say. However, I still think it looked great. It was still fun. It was still entertaining. It was wildly entertaining. And overall, to get that revenge moment that everyone's waiting for the whole film, they sort of give you a couple different versions of what maybe fans envisioned that moment to be. It was really cool that they got to toy with a couple different ideas while incorporating it into the movie without being some timeline thing. They're able to show different versions of the revenge while making it very much so part of the story. So that was cleverly done, I thought. It was interesting to watch, and it was intriguing to see how it all ends. So overall, it was a great action movie. I loved it. I think there's very much opportunity for this franchise to grow, whether it's another movie with Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa, whether it's another sequel to Fury Road. A sequel to Fury Road could include multiple different central characters. So there's a few different directions it could go from there. So I'm excited for this franchise. I do want to get my hands on a copy of the original 3 Mad Max movies. I do want to watch them. So until then, I just can't wait to see where this franchise goes. I think there's plenty of opportunity, and I really hope there is a fan base still ready and waiting for whatever is next. So thanks so much for watching my review of Furiosa. Thanks for watching my 150th video for this channel. I can't wait to make more videos. Can't wait to see more movies and share my thoughts about them. Thanks for watching, guys.